Good evening, gamers. What is up? This is Griever, and I have an interview for you today. I've got Enigma from Classic Mixup, North American TF2 team, for those of you who've been hiding under a rock for the last few years. And I grabbed him along so that I could just have a bit of an interview, talk about ESEA LAN, and basically, Enigma and his history, because personally I find it quite interesting. First of all, I'll introduce the man himself, Enigma. How's it going, bro?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, this is good. This is good. So, wow, ESEA Land, you must have been shattered after that.
Shattered in a good way because I've been trying to win a championship for a long, long time now, and it's finally come to me.
Yeah, yeah. And I saw you were running a lot of heavy against Quantic. Could you tell me about that?
You never bring what you're gonna do at LAN until you actually get to LAN.
Yeah, yeah.
You pretty much want to save all your tricks that you've been saving all season for LAN. You don't want to give them away too early. And one of them, I think, was heavy, and I really don't think they expected it because it showed, especially in Goalie Watch. They never saw the heavy coming and pretty much stalled them for a long, long time.
Yeah, well, especially seeing as Moose was having such an amazing LAN. Obviously, you being heavy, I saw the way that you guys were working in conjunction with your Roma, and I was just like, wow, I did not even see this dynamic coming. So, you think you caught Quantic off guard to a degree?
Absolutely. It's something that we really didn't even practice until about a week before LAN. Because, if you practice too much before that, you show the heavy, the word's going to get around, and eventually they'll probably get around to it and adapt to it.
Right. Right, well, before we get too far into the specifics of things, why don't you tell the people about yourself, your TF2 history, the teams you've been in, and basically what you've done.
Well, I've been playing this game for a long, long time, since 2007, I think a month or two after the game came out, and I started this game with a group of friends that I played natural selection with,
Oh, hell,
and
yeah.
we formed Zensi, and we stuck around for I think about a year or so, and we were never the best team, but we were near the best. We were like top 5, top 4 consistently.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't until one season that I was approached by Carnage. Me and Solid Snake both played on Zensi at the time, but Carnage wanted us to merge with his team, and that's when Pandemic was formed. Pandemic, Loaded, Complexity, all the same team. We just switched sponsors around. And we basically dominated the scene for a good year or two.
Yeah, and so
Until
what season was that?
Every ESEA season, ESEA season 2 was the first season of ESEA. We won that. We would have won season 3, but we were disqualified by outplayed. We won season 4, won season 5.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty much all the other tournaments in between too. So.
Work it. So right now, as you stand, obviously Classic Mixup. Where did the name come from? And I understand you have some interesting sponsors right there.
The name came from The Hangover. Pretty sure everyone's seen that movie, but yeah, it's from The Hangover. Our sponsors were Nahani and Jays, two community members. Pretty much, Nahani, she's the one who organized all the Pubbers Pro events and
CVP, epic stuff.
Right, and used to be the head of AG. And Jays was the ex EMG partner who came over to us after EMG died, and they both basically gave us a full ride to LAN, paid for pretty much everything: hotel, airfare, food. So pretty much nothing came out of our pocket when we went to LAN.
Wow, that's amazing. And a lot of the people with the corporate sponsors, I understand some of them aren't even getting all of that. So, wow, massive shout out to them. That's huge work.
Yeah, absolutely. But I understand pretty much every other team. Experiment got here by the way of donations from the community, but and Quantic barely gave their team anything, and I think HRG only got something like $600.
Wow.
So pretty much everyone else except for our team had to at least chip in some money of their own.
Damn, Enigma, and then you go and take it all out, get all that prize money. Damn, this is, well, talk about monopoly right there. But jumping back to the LAN, how were you guys actually feeling about going up against Quantic?
I think we felt pretty confident until we lost to them the first day.
Yeah.
I think I think actually, to be honest, I think most people, ourselves included, didn't think we had a chance the next day. I mean, coming and winning two best of threes is a pretty big feat,
Well,
especially against a team as good as Quantic. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean honestly, by the time you guys played on the first day, I was half asleep. Like honestly, me and Jeff were practically like leaning against each other in mumble from opposite sides of the planet. It was just so much casting, and that game just had me amping, and I couldn't even believe it when you guys didn't quite pull that off. But two best of threes, yeah, that is definitely a first for ESEA lands. That's huge work. And like, how many hours of TF2 did you play on the first day?
I think in total game time it was probably only around 4 or 5. But I mean, factor in pauses, setting up, sitting
Oh,
around,
dude.
waiting for maps
Yeah.
to start. It's a long time, probably like 7, 8 hours.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And then you would have had like HRG when they got knocked out, standing behind you, looking over your shoulder and stuff.
Yeah,
Um,
everyone looked on pretty much.
yeah, yeah. So I want to know, Team Fortress TV. Where did this come from, and what was your whole vision behind it?
I actually kind of made it just for myself to start with because I used to want to watch that back when there was MGE, XTV, Vanilla TV. There's like three casting organizations. I really didn't want to go to like their own obscure URL every time I wanted to watch one of their casts. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I thought I'd just put it all at one place for convenience's sake.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. So that actually came out of you. Wow. And then obviously you obviously decided to open it up to everyone else and share that service. So wow.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, well, why not? Why not? You know.
Yeah. Honestly, I use it all the time, dude. And you've made a few refinements to it over the time. I believe it schedules upcoming games on a couple of the larger organizations.
I've actually been working on kind of a rework of it, so you should see significantly more functionality come a week or two.
For sure. And actually, like, obviously, I do a fair amount of casting internationally all over the place and stuff, but I was quite surprised you're one of the most approachable top level players I've come across. Like, what is up with that? You think your ego just isn't huge, or?
Oh no, I think most people at top level, if you take the time to reach out to them, they'll return the favor. But I just think it's like getting to know them. That's the hard part.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Alright, well, let's move on from that then. TF2, more specifically, 6v6. Where do you think we're headed with with Highlander getting so huge?
I mean, I think Highlander can only be a good thing for the game. I think it's kind of a transition between the pub level of play and the more serious 6v6 level of play.
Yeah,
I mean, for obviously like just for logistical reasons, I don't see it ever becoming mainstream competitive because it's really just not possible to consistently organize 9 people on every single night. The consistent 9 people and getting them to land. I mean, 9 people is a lot of money in airfare and hotel, so
yeah, definitely.
it's just not feasible.
Well, especially with the ease of watching RTSs and the fact that in general you're only getting one person to land or five if you've got a full team for the likes of Dota 2 and stuff. So
Right.
yeah, it just puts it on the outside. But yeah, that's interesting to hear your perspective on that. And I mean, you read the forums and like just watching the Highlander versus 6v6 arguments does my head in. I suppose the biggest one, in regards to comp is that you can't swap out to a sneaky class to go, try some other strats and stuff, which I suppose is one of the bigger ones.
Right. I mean, people make the argument that it's more dynamic than 6v6, but I really think it's the opposite. It's a lot more prone to stalemates, and there's a lot less room for creativity, I think, than in 6v6, especially at the LAN. You saw a lot of stuff, I think, at this LAN that you've never seen before.
Hard out, and that's one thing with 6v6. I mean, in the past 4 years, we've seen every year there just becomes a new thing. And I mean, obviously, America and Europe have gone, really separate ways in regards to that. I mean, they've gone all vanilla. In Australia, we've, adopted half and half pretty much. We have all the weapon unlock, have, more unlocks than Europe, not as many as you guys. And of course, we're not quite as aggressive, but we're not focused on demos. So it's interesting to see how it's gone worldwide in regards to that. International TF2 LAN. Have you heard any rumblings?
I have. I think X-Tine and all of XTV are committed to try and get a couple teams to land. I think they threw up the figure of something like $20,000, which I think is quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think from my point of view, I think it'd be fair to maybe try and raise a little bit less than that. Ask the players themselves to pitch in. I honestly don't think it'd be entirely fair to have the community pitch in all the costs to get 3 teams to land and have the teams themselves pay absolutely nothing.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, though. I imagine sponsors want to come to the party. I mean, you tell them this isn't a national competition. This is, your sponsorship on our shirts on the world stage, right up there in front of everyone. So, I mean, yeah, surely people will be able to approach their sponsors in regards to that. And I'm kind of hoping we can get something from our end as well. I would like to see that international TF2 land would just be, it would be epic.
I think on the topic of sponsors, I think it's kind of a chicken the egg kind of situation. I don't think the sponsors are going to come until they see an international event. Yeah. But I mean, getting to an international event itself, I think, almost requires a sponsor since it's so much money.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, that should be really interesting to see the way that goes. God damn it, I should really turn off my Steam notifications before I enter into an interview anyway. But yeah, so what is the plans in regards to Classic Mixup? Now, I don't know if you're the man to talk to about the gossip, but Classic Mixup this season, and have you heard any rumblings about what we're going to be seeing in Invite for the next season?
I think we're going to be sticking together, except for Harblu, who is no longer playing Medic, and I think he's going to play Roam for another up-and-coming Invite team.
Wow, I never would have seen that coming. Carry on.
Alright, and I think... I'm not sure exactly which teams are going to be an Invite, but I think the top 3 or 4 next season will probably be us, Quantic, and the new team that Harblu is going to, which is going to be him on Pocket or Roam, Wonderwall on Pocket or Roam. I don't think they've decided yet. Pure on Medic, Ruin on Scout, and Soup on Demo. I think they're still trying to figure out their last Scout. I don't think they've found one. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really strong team.
Well, yeah, that certainly should be interesting. And of course, IM, like the very top tier of IM in this last season, we saw some teams make some impressive gains. It'll be interesting to see if any of them make Invite and how they handle that transition, because it's got to be a big one.
I think in the interest of fairness, at least one IM team will get moved up. I think the winners last season, Dinosaurs, I think they're going to get moved up. But as far as the rest of Invite goes, I think it's entirely subjective and up to the admins, meaning they can put whoever they want into Invite. So if they really wanted to, they could have just kept the same 8 teams in Invite. But I think they're going to at least move up the Dinosaurs from last season.
Yeah. Actually, pausing on that subject, HRG, I'm really hoping they stick together. I know I've heard a few things there, but honestly, were you surprised at how young they all looked at LAN?
Kinda. I know Tech Dude looked really young. I didn't expect him to look that young, but everyone else, I think we all knew they're pretty young.
Yeah, because I hadn't seen any of them, and obviously I hadn't heard many of their voices or anything until I saw the LAN photos, and I was just like, are you serious? Wow, this is crazy stuff. So, if they do actually stick together or just make some minute changes, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that roster. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming along and talking to me tonight, dude. Just wanted to, grab an interview with you so I can take it back to the folks back home and maybe share it around a little bit, some interesting information in there. Best of luck with the next season, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what you do with TeamFortress.tv. I think it's great. We really need something like that aggregates the whole thing for everyone, because I know trying to get people to watch my stream as it is an absolute mission. Drives me nuts. So shout out to you for that, dude. Any shout outs you want to give?
I think I want to thank our sponsors last season, Nahani and Jays, one more time, because them getting us to LAN and us winning first place is pretty awesome. It's a pretty big chunk of change.
Yeah, man. But you smiled on the entire flight home.
Yeah. $800 to spend. So
What? So you're telling me you stopped at a casino on the way home and you went home poor, or what?
doubled my money.
Doing work, eh? Got any more shout outs you want to do, bro?
Shout out to the rest of my team for pulling it all together at the finals and beating EMG
Good stuff.
or Quantic.
Yeah, I get you. Alright, well, we're going to wrap that up there. Yeah, of course, I'm Griever. This is GreaverTV, and you can catch me at GreaverTV on Justin TV, Twitch TV, YouTube, Twitter, all of that crap. And yeah, keep an eye out. Have a good night, people.